We've got about 3 seconds before I go blind. Did a live tutorial using the tanner pen. It's a very short tutorial. Check it out. Show you the reason why I like this concept. No makeup texture. So I'm going to zoom in. You see skin on my nose. That's not a booger. A runny nose. My nose is super dry now and flaking. I hope there's nothing there. Let's zoom in. Underneath my eye where I have done the tanner in light areas. And do you see there is zero makeup texture? It's very even. There's a little red spot here and that guy is invisible. Even around my lips, my cheek area, I still have variation of skin color. I have skin texture, which is normal. What I don't have is the addition of makeup texture. And this is the reason why I really love it. And I prefer this in makeup texture. And then I'm the oddball sharing it. Do a little bit of makeup. It's a little bit unconventional, a little different. I shared in my stories something that I used. I tried out a new product and I don't know how I feel about it yet. So I'm going to give it several tries to really formulate a good opinion. My name is Althea Gobble. If you have any questions about any of the products I use, the majority of the products that I'm using are by St. Beauty. If you want to grab any of these, you can go to altheagobble.com or you can just send me a message and I can send you a link. And if you would like to have a free consultation of color placement, that kind of thing, you can go to yes.altheamatchme.com and I'll be glad to help you. All right, I'm going to use this Love & Tan, Purest Love & Tan. Supposedly is organic. I don't know what that means. Actually, it's still product, still doesn't, a lot of that stuff is hype stuff, but I thought I would give it a try because it did have 2-3 ingredients in there that's added, that's different than their other products, that is very good for skin. So let's just give it a try. I've got it in this pen and some of you may have seen that before, but I'm not going to do this. Hello, Victoria. I am not going to do this all over. I'm just going to do it in my eyes and do very minimal makeup because I'm not doing like a full face of anything because I just don't want to look like as if I've given up. Okay, so this is the pen and it's already got a little bit of tanner in it from where I used it the other day. And I'm just going to push it down it gets down into the felt right to there, the little brush that's at the end, and it may drip, and I have a little paper towel here picking it up. And I'm just going to do this at my under eyes, and that's it. You can do it everywhere. Well, I may do it on my nose because I do like that, and my lips, okay? So right here for the under eyes, you see that light area right in there, which makes this appear really dark in this light area. So I'm going to balance that by adding a little bit of, oh, what is that? Let me get that. Oh, well, glitter. Hang on. Can't have eye boogers, can we? What are you doing, Victoria? How much snow you got? Okay, so just going to dot this right in there. Now this shade is medium. Now if this scares you doing tanner, if you've been here a little while with me, you don't have to use a tanner. You can use a contour. You can use an eyeshadow if you can find one that's very pigmented and almost cream-like, not too drying. Sometimes a very dry powder will just make you look more dry and more textured underneath the eyes. And you notice all I'm doing, see how that's already balanced? Now keep in mind, this is going to develop. So there's some bronzer in this. So make it a little darker, but notice I'm barely touching my skin with it. It takes some practice. So as you're practicing doing this, I have learned you've got time to erase it. So what you do, see that little white spot? Now there's a red spot there. That's new. Well, it's not necessarily new. It's old pigmentation that I feel like it's on its last leg. It was a brown spot, and it's just at its end stages due to skincare and skin treatment, getting that lifted. Okay, now what was I saying? See how that is balanced. Yeah, I took a before picture so you can see the difference. Now I'm also going to put it up in here. Okay, I feel like I just went everywhere with information and I lost track of what I was saying. Oh, Lordy. Oh, so if you feel like you get this wrong, you get too much. I've been doing it a little while, so I've got some practice. But sometimes I do get heavy-handed or overzealous and do too much, or feel like I have to do a whole lot or get in a major hurry and do too much on my face. You can go and rinse it off, and it's not going to, it hasn't had time to develop, so you got time. I'm really not certain how I feel about this one. I don't know if it's actually grabbing hold as well as the regular 11 tan or the B tan. They're tanners. There's all kinds. So just experiment with them. And I really like the 11 tan, something with red in it. Now this doesn't have a whole lot of red in it, so I thought I'd give it a try though. I like more of a red brown on me. Okay, now I'm going to do the nose. See that little white spot? You see, I got too much. You see that? You just go tap, tap. And I'm wearing a glove. You don't have to. They do make a remover that if you do use your finger, you can remove it on your hand. I just haven't gotten that. Sorry. But I just really want to balance out this little area. My eyes are dry. Got dry eye really bad, and sometimes it feels like there's a hair in my eye. You can use contour for this concept, but I really love the idea of something that shows absolutely zero texture. So this is an option, and you can get a couple days out of it, even if, because with skincare, I exfoliate every day chemically with skincare and using active ingredients that causes cell turnover to be more active. So I may touch up maybe 5 minutes in a couple of places, specifically around the eyes and the nose, because that seems to be a spot where there's a lot more exfoliation and cell turnover, which is fine because I like the end result. I do like it with contour. I do like it that way as well, but this just seems so zero texture. Love it. Okay, now I'm going to do this other eye, and I'll do a little bit around the mouth area, the lips, and I'll do the rest of my makeup. Okay, I'm going to turn this down just a little more. So I'm really not certain how I feel about this tanner. I don't know if it didn't seem to last as long as others I've used, but let's use it a few more times to get a complete review of it. See that little part? And the goal is that I'm just barely using the tip of this pen in those light spots. And the goal is not try to see the color and tap it out. Now I've done my skincare. My skincare that I have on my face is water-based and not oil-based, which I think is best, and it's not sticky. So if like you're doing a primer or anything like that, that type of skincare, I feel like if it's sticky, has a grip to it, this doesn't do as well. So skip that part and let it settle for 30 minutes or something, and then put your skincare on. You can do that, or just skip that part of your skincare and use it the next day. All right, just doing a little bit here on this eye. So you see that shadow right there, and it makes it go down long. What I've learned, it's because of this little light area, and now this is making that go this way. So now, instead of making it look like my cheek is dragged down, it looks as if it's going this way because of I changed the direction of the shadow. So I'm not getting rid of the color, I'm actually adding more shadow to trick the eye to think that the cheek is actually going this way. Now it's not going to get rid of all of the dark. It just helps balance the high contrast between light and dark. So I'll use a corrector to subtract a little bit from the dark spots and to bring balance there. Now my nose is peeling. It's not a booger. Oh gosh, I was sick for a few days, and it's super cold outside. Then you come into heat, and my lips are dry, and my nose got dry from it got raw from blowing my nose and everything. So that's what that little guy is. But I'm not covering it, but right around it, it's kind of light. But I put a little bit of color around it, just barely touching with the felt pen. And I'm going to do a little here on my lips. Gotta be careful, I do have lines around my lips. So I don't want to make the dip of a line darker, so I stay away from that. But there's like little light patches in my lips. Now this is not going to, I mean, it lasts all day. It's not going to last days because your lips are constantly exfoliating naturally because of eating saliva from your mouth, very acidic, is constantly pulling off layers of skin. So, but for the day, it does really well. All right, and these little poochy things down in there, I'm just adding a little bit of color. Smile, stretch it out, make sure I haven't made some kind of crazy looking discoloration. Just adding a little color to those light areas. So you see, I mainly took a few minutes and just focused in around the center part of my face and the under eyes. I could do more, and I have. See, when you get too much, just tap. Just don't panic. And if you feel like, okay, you can always rinse it off before it develops. You got time. I could do sides, all of that, but I just really just want to do the center part of my face, you can do that same thing. You can only pick areas that are the most troublesome and you want very little texture and do that area. So now I'm going to take this glove off without turning it inside out and do the rest of my makeup. I'm going to do brows always, even it doesn't matter how minimal I'm doing my makeup, I will always do my brows. I went down, it's this L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. So this is skinnier than the first one I used. I used it all up and I had to go get a new one. And this is ash brown. And I like it. It's a little finer and skinnier to use. You know what? I did this eye and didn't do that eye because I lost internet for a second. Don't know why. And that distracted me. So I'll go back to that and let's do this eye real quick. I'm all about beautiful, well organized, curated social media. Boy, I tell you what, I'm about over social media telling me it's just a lot. There's very little real stuff happening. Let's see. Just add a little bit of color right in here where this part of my lid, you see this little guy here, this nice little fold. I just want to add a little color to him so he goes back in the background. And I'll like a little bit of color right in here. I find if you go minimal, you can always go back and readjust. See? Do different angles. I'm going to leave that alone and see how it starts developing while I'm doing my other makeup. Okay. Now, take my shape brush. I'm going to take Tangerine Dream, this beautiful orange, highly recommend for everybody, and just bronze with it. Probably my favorite one. I used 05 for a very long time till they came out with Tangerine Dream, and I've asked them to keep it as a staple, not just temporary, because it has just enough yellow in it for mature skin. We tend to be very translucent and icy, and so that little bit of yellow cuts that lilac icy color, and then the orange is going to warm up the blue, especially like translucent skin, the veins, that paleness, it adds color. I love this. It's just a good color. And you just barely tap it, only get it on the ends of the bristles. I'm going to take a little here. And I'm going to take a little here just because it's a warm color. Love it. Now let's do a little bit of flesh, a little bit of pink. Sun's going to come through and change the lighting. So, excuse me, we're going to move a little bit. Strawberry shortcake, whatever bright, vibrant color you have. I'm using the same brush, but on the smaller end. And let's add a pretty little bit of pink to make me look alive. You may already have nice, pretty red cheeks, If so, just fill in the spaces of redness. You can even add a little bit of color down in here, just where you would naturally flush. See, the more vibrant you go, the less you have to use. And it looks, since I don't have any foundation on and it goes onto the skin, it is filtering color on the skin because it's going sheerly and creates this undetectable way of wearing blush, so it looks like I'm actually got some color and life into my skin. I like to take a little here as well, and a little there. Let's add a little bit of this color to my lips. You can also add this to your eyes if you want to. Let's do that. Yummy. All right, now what I would do is take a little brush, this is artist paintbrush, and clean it off with my cleaning towel, and then I'm going to subtract excess color from the little dark spots. But what's easier now is I don't have to do as much because I've added color around it that's light. So I just want to subtract a little bit of the excess, but not too much. Just want to bring them back in balance. Anything that looks red, you know, like a red spot like this one, I'm going to use Y01, and you just want to find the darkest spot of it and touch it and go. Keep in mind, just don't overthink it and feel like you have to have a degree to figure out what color's what. Just touch it and go, and if it doesn't look right, you know you haven't got the right color. That's the reason why these guys are my friends, and I feel like everybody could do something with these colors. There's one more orangey yellow one for richer skin tones, or someone with medium to dark skin tones that you could add in there. We have some others that you can use, but these right here you can do a whole lot with. You don't have to have all of them, but I like having the variety. The yellow orangey one, this is Y01, is great for anything red or looks like a raspberry, a broken capillary, a pimple. You saw me just disguise that. You see this one still has a little bit of color, but I'm going to let it settle because I touched it. Anything you touch is going to bring a little bit of blood flow and color to it, so touch it and go, let it settle a second. I have lots of red areas I could conceal, but I don't want to erase everything. I want the variation of skin so it looks like I'm not wearing any makeup. I just want it to look like my skin. I could spend an hour sitting here and do that with every little small thing, but in reality, we don't have time for that, right? And I just want to get rid of the things that are distracting the mosaic of skin. Skin always has a mosaic of colors, and you have a little spot and it throws it off. So like, see this little dull, that's just kind of a dull shadowy, it's not really red or anything. So I'm just going to do 03 because 03 is like a peachy color, and that's an orange, and anything with color in it or depth of color, or if you can see it, then it actually has blue in it, and that didn't subtract it enough, so I'm going to go down to this 01. So the 01 is going to subtract more of the color. And there. And so keep in mind, I touched it, so it might be a little red, so I'm going to let it settle a minute. Right here in this vein, I'm going to use 03 and it's just pixelating the color over it and creates this filter. And that's it. I'm gonna do a little bit on this eye. Right here on my forehead, there's a little red spot. There's one right here on my forehead, above my brow. It's been there for a while. I've been watching it. I might need to go get it checked. All right, so here in this eye, see that little area there? Now I added color on either side of it. And now I'm subtracting from the very darkest spot. I'm using Y01 because it looks kind of, well, the blood vessels are close to the skin in that area. So even if you don't see the color, just know in this area, typically it's going to have a lot of violet in it because this is where the blood vessels are closer to the skin. So if you don't know what color it is, if it's in this area, default to the yellow. I'm going to put a little bit in there. See that little dark area? And the 03, I mean, that's going to subtract depth of color. So you can't ever go wrong with a little bit of 03 as well. Like I said, don't overthink color and trying to dissect it. So, okay, what color is that? I gotta figure it out. You only have a few colors, trial and error. The best you can see with your own eyes, you will quickly figure out this color works here and this color works there. That's how I learned. And sometimes I get it wrong. I say, okay, that color didn't work. Let me go to that one and see. That's like how I did here. That didn't work, so I went to the 01. All right, almost done. See, there's a little red area there, but it's very dark. So I'm going to take a little bit of the red away with the yellow, and it may still have a little bit of color in it. So I clean it off and I pick up some of the 03 to take away the depth of the color. And had a little bit of 03 there and a couple of dull spots there. Now I'm going to, these couple of veins here, I'm going to use 03, and I'm not going to make a line with a vein because a vein doesn't travel underneath the skin in a line. It's kind of like this. So, I mean, really can't see how it's traveling, but sometimes the vein, if you just put a couple of dots over it, you will see that actually disguises the color of it. See, now it looks like I have put on foundation because I've done exactly what foundation was supposed to do. It's supposed to even out my skin tone, but foundation gives you added texture. And being 54, that's something I don't need. I already have enough. I just rather balance out the skin. You can also do this on your lips. Any dark spots, freckles. My first video before I lost internet, you'll see it before this one, I did a little of the strawberry shortcake on there. Okay, think I'm done? Yeah, I'm done. And then I'm going to take just a little bit. I'm going to take this is the bright brush. I'm going to take a little bit of feather blotting dust just right here on the cheeks where my hair touches my face so it doesn't wear off any product. I love this stuff. It does not add any coloring. It doesn't change anything about the product I have on there. And it's like a feather. You can even put it where it's great for blurring out large pores. Okay, so I've let that spot settle, and do you see, you can still see it a little bit. So See, that's always a great thing to do, is let things settle, train your eyes not to get hyper-focused. And the red is mostly gone, but it's still a dark area, a dark spot in it. So anything dark, it's blue, that means it has depth of color in it. I'm going to use the 01 to subtract even more of it. I could use the 03, but I feel I need to subtract a whole lot of it. So I'm just going to barely touch it. And if you feel that you get too much, there. Yay. All right, now let's do some mascara. This is L'Oreal Telescopic in dark brown. And let's just throw in a little. Now that is a very simple, is my nose running? Please tell me if it is. I feel like I feel better, and then sometimes I feel like, okay, I don't feel that good. But we're gonna fool everybody today. Oh, she feels good. Look at her, she's alive. She don't look like death warmed over, and she don't look like she may have given up today. On most days, people would see me and think, oh Lord, she's given up. I haven't given up yet. I'm still going, still going. And now the sun is going to shine in, changing my lighting. But that gives you a good chance to see. Let me get this so I'm not going to be blind. Then I'll show you in the direct sunlight how there's very little makeup texture, if any at all. Let's see. Let's get in here in the sunlight. Zoom in. See? Okay, I'm blind. I can't see. But I look here in the mirror. Do you see there's like no texture of makeup where I concealed with the tanner at all, and even the corrector? It just looks like my skin. And that is the goal, because I don't need additional makeup texture because I have textured skin. I am 54. Wrinkles are going to happen no matter skincare. It's going to improve them, but anything I can do to minimize makeup texture, but yet make my skin look its best, I'm there for it. So I use this. I haven't yet determined how much I like this one. I like the regular 1110, but the purest, I'm deciding, using in this pen. I started off my other video, I lost internet, so go check it out right before this one. And then using these beautiful colors by Saint Beauty and the brushes. And all I used was the Strawberry Shortcake, the Tangerine Dream, and I used these 3 correctors. That's all I used, and a little bit of feather blotting dust. That is super easy makeup. In my stories, I'll share my after, so you can see there was no smoke and mirrors. You can see my before and after. If you have any questions about anything I used, you can drop them in the comments. If you would like a consultation on color placement and how to place this concept onto your face, if you don't want to use a tanner, we can use a contour. You can even use an eyeshadow if it's a very creamy, very pigmented, pressed pigment product. You can do that as well, but I can help guide you with videos and graphics on how to do it on your face. You can go to yes.outtherematchme.com, and if you want to grab some of these colors to play along with your makeup routine, you can go to outtheregold.com. Thank you for joining in. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday.